Let's look at another pre-dynastic knife handle, which has dog number 42. This is the Gebel Tarif knife. The knife dates to the Naqada III period, approximately 3200 to 3000 BCE. On one side of the knife are two snakes encircling rosettes, which separately are very common motifs for this time period, so I find it very interesting that they've been combined. Then on the other side, there are 4 rows of an animal scene. The first 2 rows show a leopard and a lion attacking ibexes. Then we have the dog featured in the 3rd row where he is attacking another animal. Although what animal, it is not totally clear. Some have said an ibex, another said a dog, and another said a boar, which I think the boar is the most likely. And then in the last row we have a griffin attacking an ibex, which is a whole other thing that I guess I can talk about, but I didn't realize griffins were really in ancient Egyptian iconography. Now, there is no standard look for the depictions of dogs in pre-dynastic period, but in general, they tend to be more stockier looking dogs. Sometimes they've been associated with mastiffs, and we've looked at a couple before where they just in general don't have the same looks that the ones in the Old Kingdom or the ones in the Middle or the New Kingdom look like. Though this one does have a slightly curly tail. It has kind of come to the whole perception is, did the ancient Egyptians purposely depict their dogs a certain way, or did they actually bred them to look a certain way in those certain time periods? And they tend to be relatively idealistic in their depictions, so there's a very high probability that they just made all the dogs look the same because they wanted it to look the prettiest it could. So the knife is currently in the Cairo Museum, but there is absolutely no context as to where it was found. It is said to have come from Abydos, but that is apparently just based off of the name of the knife. Gebel Tarif seems to be an area near Abydos, but I cannot really find very much information about it, only that it might be on the east bank of Abydos, but it's really unclear, unfortunately. The most fascinating thing about this piece, not about the dog, is apparently the handle on this side of this knife was actually covered with gold leaf. It is unclear if it is still covered in gold leaf because I literally cannot find an actual physical photo of this knife. I am kind of hoping that it might be on display at the Cairo Museum when I visit next month, but to be honest, I kind of doubt it because I feel like if it was out, there would be actual pictures on the internet to search for it. But it's definitely difficult because every time I try to search this, it only comes up with the Gebel El Arak knife, which we've talked about is a very, very famous knife. But I want to know more about this one. Please tell me more about this one. Stop studying that other knife, please.